Hi, this is Erik Martensson from the band ECLIPSE, and you're listening to Sonic Perspectives.
The days and the weeks, they pass like the wind. I've been lost and astray for too long. Wasted so many years, no answers I found. To like the man I've become. Take me home to the place where my heart belongs. To my father and mother, my sisters and brothers.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another interview of Sonic Perspectives. I'm Rodrigo Altaf, and with me today is one of the most prolific songwriters I ever had the pleasure of talking to. From Wet, Nordic Union, and ECLIPSE, please welcome Mr. Erik Martensson.
Hello!
Hey Erik, thank you for joining us, and let's talk about the new ECLIPSE album, Paradigm.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being on the show.
Right, so explain to us the title of the album, Paradigm, for starters.
Well, it starts. I'm a kind of a geek with popular science, so I kind of read the word quite often because it's usually a term used in science.
Right.
I thought it was a fitting title because we've made. I don't know if the listener really hear it, but I think for us personally, while writing this record, we tried a lot of new stuff, a lot of new ways of doing melodies, and we tried to incorporate a lot of Swedish folk music into the the arena rock thing. So it's I think for us it's a new way of doing enhancing the ECLIPSE sound, so to speak.
Right, very cool. Well, this is your ninth studio effort, and the first one with Victor Crusner on bass. How is he settling in on the role?
Victor is fantastic. It's really good to have him in the band. I think the whole atmosphere in the band is fantastic right now. We're having a really good time together, and we are on tour at the moment. So we are like 10 days into our European tour.
Oh, very cool.
I'm on the tour bus now.
Oh, you're on a tour bus. Okay, nice. Sonically, it's very much a continuation of your previous efforts. Did you use the same approach as before, and how did each member of the band contribute to the end result?
Well, as I said earlier, I think we it sounds very like continuing from the previous albums, but if you listen to melodies and how the songs are written, it's written very different than before. A lot of the stuff is written on acoustic guitar, with the melodies even more in focus. But after that, we are the same. It's the same band. It's the same. I'm the same singer, so it will end up sounding like ECLIPSE anyway. So it doesn't matter. Even if we would record another band's song, it would still sound like ECLIPSE, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Well, tell us about the first single, Viva La Victoria. I think it's an unusual title for a non-Spanish-speaking band, or does anybody in the band speak Spanish by any chance?
Not really. We've been touring quite often in Spain. Spain is a big market for us, but that was not the case with this one. I had the melody, the intro melody, and the verse I already did before Magnus came to the studio, and he also had another chorus idea, and they fitted perfectly together, the whole riff and everything. And while we were jamming on it, we just somehow sang "Viva La Victoria" by almost by mistake. It is about like, fuck, that sounds great, that word, it just kept on. Every time we did the chorus, like it fits perfectly, and so we wrote the whole song, around that, those words.
Oh, very cool. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So I know it's not. I know this. We had a guitar tech from Spain before, and he said it should be Hasta La Victoria, and I was like, but it doesn't sound good. It's got to be. I don't care if it's wrong.
It's okay. It's good anyway.
It's fun anyway. So and I think the title is the key to the success of the song. It's our most successful song yet.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's on streaming. It's been doing extremely well.
Right. Well, I like the video that you did for the song. I think it reminded me of the classic MTV videos where it wasn't just a band playing, but there's also a concept or a story going on behind it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah.
Tell us about Merrily, the song, if you can. Is that an actual person or a fictional character? Where does that title come from?
It's a fictional character. It was kind of the same. We were coming up with different. We tried to get a fitting. I don't know. the word, the payoff in the whole chorus, the start. Merrily. We try to find different words. It's also, I think it was called Dirty Deals at once. We tried different, but the word merrily had a swing to it. We couldn't. We got to keep it. So we wrote the song about that.
Right.
But it's a fictional character, and it's one of those. It's a rock and roll song. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of good lyrics on the record, but merrily is one of those tongue in cheek. It's a fun rock and roll song lyric.
Yeah. Well, I noticed like it's almost a clash between AC/DC on the riffs and some Bon Jovi on the chorus a little bit, right?
Yeah, there is. There's so much stuff. It's like our whole musical, all the stuff we loved as kids. There's AC/DC. I think there are some Blue Oyster Cult. There is Europe, Bon Jovi, Kiss. The whole chorus, the guitar solo section is like a homage to Ace Frehley.
Oh, cool. One thing I always noticed on your songs is how catchy your songs are. What's your secret to write so many hooks, man? Because, I don't know, sometimes you hear these prog songs with 10, 20 minutes and you think, what's the point? Nothing grabs you. But with you guys, it's just right off the bat,
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like that in songs. Those are the kind of songs that I like. When I listen to records, those are the songs that I enjoy. And I think there are so many records. You listen to the song, and you read it on the cover what the title of the song you're listening to, and then you hear the title. Is like, okay, that must have been a chorus. I don't know, but it's now they're starting all over again. So that must have been the chorus. And with Eclipse, I want it to be when the chorus hits you, it's got you got to notice. I think that's important and take away it. Personally, I think the hardest part about writing songs is to make them as simple as possible. It's super easy to write complicated songs. I think if it this kind of music, I think it's better if the hard part is making them as simple as possible, but still sounding like your own and still being interesting. I think that is the key to our songwriting. Right, like a Bryan Adams song. They're super simple and they're so catchy and they just live on for decade after decade, and it's super simple. And if everyone, or AC/DC, if everyone could write as easy songs as AC/DC, why don't everyone have hits with that? Because it's not easy. It's really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the heavy ones I noticed is a song called 38 or 44, and that's obviously a reference to the caliber of a gun, right?
Yeah,
I think it's a controversial thing for a hard rock album, wouldn't you say?
Well, the whole thing is actually anti-gun. It's about all these. I think there was an American school shooting on the news the week we wrote that song, and it's like all the and a lot of people say, and there's always this debate that they should have less guns because guns, if there are guns, people will use them, and in America it always ends up with, well, if everyone's got a gun, then we can shoot the bad guys. It doesn't really work like that, So I think the less guns there is, the less people will get shot by guns, and so it's actually an anti-gun song.
Oh, okay. Another heavy one is Masquerade. I was particularly impressed with the guitar tone on that one, man. Tell us about that song. Magnus,
our guitar player, he reminded me how the riff came about. I was in a guitar shop. I was about to buy a brand new Gibson Explorer, and I was in a guitar shop trying it out because I ordered it and they fixed it for me, and I plugged into a Marshall and I started playing and jamming, and then all of a sudden I just played, messing around, and this riff came up, and we were like, it's a really cool riff. So we recorded it on the mobile phone. We recorded it. So that's where the riff was made, in the guitar shop.
And I must say, I'm new to the band, and I knew you were a great guitar player because of your work with Wacken and Nordic Union, but I didn't know you sang so well, man. What's your secret? What are your influences on vocals and so on?
Well, to be honest, I never ever wanted to be a singer, ever. The only reason I started singing is because when when I was a kid, there was like no one wanted to sing. Everyone wanted to play guitar, and the worst guitar player, he had to take the bass. And then we just turned everyone said, I will sing this song and you will sing that song, It didn't sound good when I sang, but when the others sang, it sounded horrible. So after a while, it's like, okay, I sing that one as well, because they couldn't handle it. And for many years, I was like, yeah, Eclipse was going on, and we were having live shows. And I was like, but we need to find a proper singer. But but as time went by, I kind of became a singer, and it's too late now. I've never had any teaching, no schools, nothing. I just just singing.
How did you start? I mean, you just told me how you started, but what was your reference point? I mean, did you think about that at all, or just pick up the microphone and started singing?
Yeah, I guess that's the case. But still, I did enjoy like bands, Swedish bands like the Europe, and of course Whitesnake and all this stuff. And for a long time, I tried to sing like David Coverdale, but I couldn't sound like him. But when I did his stuff, it sounded like Erik, because I was trying to imitate someone else and failed, and ended up having my own style, kind of. Right. Just like David Coverdale. If you listen to his influences, you can hear exactly where he's stolen everything from. All those wails and all those things that are the Coverdale trademark, they are stolen from someone else, from the blues singers. It's really fun.
Yeah. That's how you start, of course. Yeah.
That is so. Well, nowadays I just don't think about sounding like anyone at all. I just sing.
And how would you compare like the work with ECLIPSE versus Nordic Union, for example, which is like a project, and Wet?
Well, Nordic Union and Wet got proper singers.
For starters, yeah.
So finally, I can have a band without being a singer. Ronnie, both Ronnie Atkins, the singer from Pretty Maids, and Jeff Scott Soto, they are fantastic singers, really great singers, and which I admire a lot. And they are really super professional, both of them. They are, there's a reason why they're in. They have careers that stretch the whole life. They are super professional. They are really easy to work with. They are, really, they're good friends now. And it's super easy to work with them. And it's so much creativity going on. It's great.
Right. Speaking of Wet, is there any chance of a fourth album in the near future, or are you guys considering that at all?
Yeah, we are. We have actually discussed this lately. So I think there is a new one in the pipeline.
Oh, okay. Good to hear.
Hopefully, I think we will start, if everything goes as planned, we will start sometime in the early next year. This year, it's going to be a lot of Eclipse things. We are touring now for the rest of the year, almost on and off. We have a month tour in Europe now, and then we are off to Spain. They have separate Scandinavian dates on and off. So there's a shitload going on, and also we have Japan, we have Australia, and even more European dates. So it's going to be a busy year. So I'll try to fit it in somewhere.
Yeah. And I think I spoke with Jeff a couple of times. He's been very open about the fact that Wet is just a project and there's no plans of making it the main gig for him or any other member in the band. But do you see you guys making more live shows in the future than you've done so far? Because it's only been a few, right?
Yeah, I think we have done 8 or 9 live shows ever.
Oh, wow.
It's terrible for a band that's sold so many albums. It's kind of a waste, and but it's really hard to get the schedules together for us. But if there is opportunity to make it happen, we will absolutely make it happen.
Okay. And when it comes to Nordic Union, you guys have 2 great albums recorded. I did an interview with Ronnie last year when the second one was released. Is there a plan to do more? And have you had any contact with him after he announced that he's battling cancer?
Yeah, I've had contact with him, and discussions about. I actually did an interview with someone who did an interview with him like last week, and he said that Ronnie is going to beat the cancer and he's ready for a new Nordic Union album. So I hope so.
Yeah, that's the hope.
It's been a couple of weeks since I spoke to him last, so So I don't know the status at the moment, but I'm pretty confident he will beat it. He's a tough motherfucker.
He is indeed, yeah. Tell us about your work as a producer. Do you take that role only in the albums you play in, or do you produce other bands as well? And tell us what you're working at the moment, if you can.
I reproduce other bands, and I mix a lot of records. So I have my own studio. It's Mass Destruction Production.
Oh, cool.
Which is my own studio. a really nice studio, and I mix a lot of records. I do a lot of mastering work, and I also do recording works and production jobs for other bands. So I think the most recent, I've been mastering a thrash metal album and some death metal albums lately, and I also recorded a 50s rock and roll rockabilly band. So it's I do everything. I do everything.
Oh, do you go crazy with so many different styles at the same time when you're working on such different albums, or is it just a lot of the same? Or
it's only rock and roll. It's only rock and roll. It doesn't matter if it's rockabilly or death metal. I think they all love the kind of the same thing, even if it sounds very different. It's the songs and what people love is kind of the same.
Okay. So you're in the middle of a tour right now, like you just said. Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Belgium. I'm at a venue called Bebop in Boston, in Belgium.
Oh, okay. I noticed in your calendar there's so many tour dates until the end of the year. What are the touring plans, and what can we expect in 2020, for example?
There's going to be a lot more in Scandinavia. There's going to be we have festivals are being booked at the moment, so we have some pretty nice festivals coming up this summer. And Australia is coming up. We're going to go to Japan and play Tokyo and Osaka, which is fantastic. It's always wonderful to be in Japan and play live. And hopefully we'll have some U.S. dates as well. And it's just we're going to keep on going and promote the hell out of this album. And, meet the fans. That's the best thing. I usually say that creating a record is like building a car. It's like building this nice sports car, but when you play live, you actually get to drive the car. It's like this. You can use all this hard labor. You can reap the fruits. Kind of.
Well, speaking of North America, I mean, I'm in Toronto right now. That's where I live. Have you guys tried, or have you had a North American debut yet? I haven't seen any tour dates recently because I moved here like 2 years ago.
Okay. Where were you located? In?
Before I was in Brazil.
Yeah, and now you're in?
Now I'm in Canada, yeah.
In Canada, yeah. We played in Chicago 2 times, I think, and we played Prog Power in Atlanta. We also have done that Monster of Rock cruise thing that's out of Miami on the boat, okay. Yeah. Which is a cool thing. And we have been talking many times about doing some Canadian dates as well, because there are actually quite a few fans that emailing us from time to time. It's time to come to Canada, so I hope we can make it happen as soon as possible.
Right, I'll keep my fingers crossed, man. And if I can help with anything, let me know.
Fantastic, sounds great.
Yeah. Well, Erik, it was a pleasure speaking with you, man. All the best with the new release of Paradigm, and I hope to catch up with you on the road very soon.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks for having me on the show.
For our viewers out there, thank you for sticking around. Please follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to finish now with Viva La Victoria from ECLIPSE's latest album, Paradigm. Take care, and see you next time.